Hello, students. Now, the next topic is difference between English language or linguistics. In fact, it should be difference between language and linguistics, right? So, let us see what's the language or English language, any language. Here we are talking about English language and what's the linguistics. So, the English language is a specific system of communication or any language which is the system of communication. For communication, we have made one system, and through to follow the system, we communicate, right? I am communicating, I am teaching you, or I am talking to you, right? So I am using a sentence according to grammar, right? Or according to understanding between listener and speaker, right? But that's a system of communication because for English, if we talk about, so that's a specific system of communication. So, language is a system of communication. It is a tool for expressing thoughts, emotions, and information. So, it's a kind of tool by like through a tool in the kitchen, for example, right? For peeler, so you use peeler for peeling vegetables, okay? So similarly, here language is a tool. Through this tool we express our feelings, expressions, right, emotions and all. When you study the English language, you are learning to use and understand this particular tool. So, when we learn English language, right? So, then that means we are learning to use and understand this particular tool, means we are going to learn how to use English language and just like a tool. For example, if you remember that when you learn two wheeler, right? So then you when you were learning, then you had to get practice of raising the speed or indicator or horn, right? But now without wi- like very normal, without thinking, you just do each and everything on the road. Why? Because you are very much familiar now. But yes, that tool, through that tool you can go here and there, you can you reach to college or go to your friend, so that vehicle is used, so that vehicle is a medium of transport, right? Similarly, language is used as a tool, as a medium, anything can be spoken for language. The focus is on practical application, cultural context, and historical development of English itself. What the focus is on practical application, that's a what is written and what is doing actually, lang and parole, language and performance. That is we learn in language. Then cultural context, language and culture coexist, right? So that through language we got to know about culture and the historical development of English itself, and by the time how language develops, how English uh, what's the journey of English language, if we talk about Old English, Middle English, then Modern English, Early Modern, then Late Modern, right? And many slangs and words, day by day it is being invented, right? So this is the development. Now, examples of English language study. If we want to study English language, then reading a novel, it is always you must have suggested to read diversified the reading must be there. Read English novels, English books, so for improving language, right? So that's a this is the this efforts are these efforts are done for learning English, reading novel, right? Interpreting themes. When you read the novel, then uh, you have to you should interpret the theme, like what themes are covered in this particular novel, characters, right? And then plot is a book like 1984, right? So for 1984, what are the themes like privacy, right? And that's a uh, technology, right? Totalitarianism, okay? Characters, so that's a Winston Smith, okay? And parties, brother and all, so these are the character, big brother and all, right? And plot is that's a life, a private life, privacy in life, something like this. So that's a this reading. If you read such type of novels, definitely you will improve language, okay? Now next is that's a writing an essay. So, essay writing, when you were kid, you were a school goer. So then definitely you must have written some essays. Why essays are written? Why essays are given to write? So that you will improve structure and writing skills will be improved. So that's a learning to structure arguments and use correct grammar and syntax for specific purpose. So you will be able to learn when you write something, write your thoughts, write an essay on particular topic. So then grammar, syntax, and structure and argue, everything will be improved, right? Then for language, public speaking. So public speaking, practicing pronunciation and delivery for a presentation. So that we do practice whenever we have to perform publicly, right? So that's a public speaking. And historical context, studying the influence of old Norse and Latin on modern English vocabulary and grammar, right? So that's how old Norse influenced English language, and then Latin, many words, Latin words are used in English language. So this is all about approach of learning any language. Here we are talking about English language. But if we talk about linguistics, so linguistics, as you can see here, the boy uh, that's a is being shown here. That's a this boy, right? So that's a voice here. You must have uh, in from his mouth. It's a sound pronunciation, right? So linguistics is more and more study of sound, study of pronunciation. Linguistics is the study of language or scientific study of language, because normal, not study of language, but scientifically, like how air goes inside and how it comes outside, and airflow, and then how puff is made, and what's the sound, which kind of articulators. This is all about sound, how sound is produced and how words are written, right? So that's a linguist goal is not to become fluent in language. That's a very important point here. Linguist, sorry, linguist is not to become fluent, in English, right? But to understand the universe principle, right? But to understand the universal principle, right? That governs how how all languages are structured, used, and acquired by human being, right? So that's how a human being make the language and how, what is the structure, how it is used, how language is acquired. This is the study about linguistics. It is a descriptive field, meaning linguistics linguists observe and analyze how people actually use language rather than prescribing how they should use it. No, they said that how people use language, which is the study of linguistics, and how people should use language is the study of language. So please understand this difference. Now, example of linguistic analysis. So that's how what we study in linguistics. So that's a phonology, syntax, morphology, sociolinguistics. Now phonology, so that's examining why the plural s, right, why the plural s in English is pronounced differently. For example, I am writing here. Let's say, for example, plural as of cat. So cat, right? Cat and cats, right? Then dog and dogs, dogs, and horse. I'm writing it again. Please wait a minute. See, cat, cats, dog, dogs, horse, horse. Okay, horses, sorry, horses. You have noticed that in each case we have put S here, S, dogs S, and horses. But sound of cats is S, and sound of dogs is Z. Dogs, sorry. Sound of dogs is Z. Dogs. And sound of horses is. Horses. Why? Because here first word before the S is T. Right? That's a T. So because of this T, that S sound will be different. Because of this G, S sound will be different. And because of SE, this sound is different. This is the study of phonology. So that's examining why plural S in English is pronounced differently in words like cats, cats, dogs, and horses, horses. So this is an analysis of a sound pattern, not just spelling rule. So that is not spelling rule, that's a sound pattern. Because of T, S is pronounced differently, G, S is pronounced differently, horse, S is pronounced differently in horse. Right? So this is the study of sound, and then this is the phonology. This process, this study, and this analysis is called phonology. So this is an analysis of sound pattern, not just the spelling rule which we learn in language. Right? Now syntax. What is syntax? Syntax is analyzing why a sentence like the baby ate the apple is grammatically correct in English, right? The boy, right? At the, sorry, I'm telling you, that's a, wait a minute. the boy ate the apple, because in English sentence we follow subject plus verb plus object. Subject is the boy, verb is at, and the apple is object. So this is to be followed in English. So that's a why analyzing a sentence like the boy at the apple is grammatically correct in English, but at the apple the boy is not. This explores the underlying rules for sentence formation. So that is, we syntax, whether we follow the subject verb or object order or not. This is the study of syntax. Okay. Now morphology. Under linguistics we study morphology, breaking down the word unhappiness, for example. So that's into its three distinct meaningful units. Morphemes, which are called morpheme. Un means no, right? Happy, and ness, state of being. So this is the reveals how new words are created, right? Happy is the main word, root word, and this un and ness is the prefix and suffix. So this study is called morphology. Then sociolinguistics study study how a person's geographic region, social class, and a social identity affects their accent, vocabulary, and grammar. Suppose my geographic uh, region is village, so, and my social class is, or social group is villagers, right? So that identify the effects and their accent. That is why my accent, vocabulary, and grammar is different, right? For instance, a sociolinguist might investigate the use of phrases like why, right? Why all. So that's a in the southern United States. Okay. So now this is about difference between language and linguistics. Now if we say some the difference here in table form, so focus is practical application. If we talk about language, so that's a practical application, and cultural use of single language. And here scientific analysis, right? Scientific analysis of the universal properties of all. Universal, that's a universal study actually, right? Opportunities of all human language. Here practical application. Okay. Then cultural use, that's a universal approach. Then to become proficient in, next is goal, to become proficient in reading, writing, speaking, right? And here to understand the structure, function, and psychology, which is very important. Structure, function, and psychology, which is the study of part of linguistics, right? Then other pattern of humanities, of literature, depends means other parts of humanities or literature department, and considered as social science or cognitive science. Then writing a literary analysis of a poem. So here language, through language if we learn, then we'll be able to write analysis, literary analysis of any poem. But the in linguistics, analyzing the rhyming uh, patterns of the poem syllables. So here we do study on of syllables and all, right? So that's the difference between language and linguistics. Okay, thank you so much. God bless you.